in the whole country, both county and it's a good thing. But when you go with a begging bowl, then your case is dismissed. And this is a reality that the whole country must come to. And this is more than just political. It's a responsibility that every single Kenyan must take seriously, that our 35% that somebody else was giving us is now gone. We have about 4 years to transition from PEPFAR. We are transitioning from Danida. The FCDO has just deprioritized healthcare and it's no longer in their priority. We have Gavi accelerated transition by 2029. The Global Fund has reduced funding by 40%, and the list goes on and on. And so what are we saying? What we are saying is that we must get our money from our pockets. Now, how do we get this money? Right now, we are talking about financial inclusivity. So what does that mean? For us in health, it's very simple. It means that every single person has a mechanism to finance their health needs. Now, how do we make that not dependent on that person and their socioeconomic status? So we create a health financing tool that can mobilize resources or can pool the resources, but can also pool the risks. So what are these risks? The risks is about who is it that is sick that needs treated? Who is it that is healthy that can support that sick person? Who is it that has money that can pay for the person who doesn't have money? Who is it that is old? Who is it that is young? So we have to start from a risk analysis. What is our disease profile? What are the things that make Kenyans die? And what are those diseases that make Kenyans poor? And I'll give a very good example here, for example, on dialysis. So if you subject an ordinary Kenyan to paying for their own dialysis, dialysis costs around 1.1 million shillings a year. If you subject any ordinary Kenyan to pay for their own dialysis, chances are that they will sell their land, and they will only sell it for the first year. And most of our land in the rural areas are not worth 1.1 million because of the way it's been subdivided, the size and all of that. So they will have to sell their land and the neighbor's land and the community land. And that's the same land they use for agricultural production for food. So what is it that, and if they don't get dialysis, they will die. If you don't get dialysis for about 24 hours, you will die. So that is the basic principle of how we look at financing our healthcare system. So if you look at every single thing that we have listed in the Social Health Authority benefit package, the things that are important, they are things that either protect a Kenyan from dying and protect them from being poor. That's what we call financial inclusivity. And we make it equal whether you have money or you don't have money, so that all of us are starting from the same level. Now, this mechanism or this tool of health financing requires that we all participate in it. The participation of it also needs to be inclusive, or what we call equitable. So if I have money, the risk for me of being poor by contributing is less than the person who doesn't have money. And this is what we did. For example, the total health expenditure in Kenya is around 550 billion. Out of this 550 billion, what exactly can be financed by the government and what can be financed by the individuals? So I've already mentioned what the government does is the things that are likely to make you die or to make you poor. But there are some things, for example, if you have a common cold and you go to a facility, you may not have much money, you may be struggling. The doctor may require 200 or 500 shillings. You may call Dr. Luga to give it to you, but that may not make you die, neither will it make you poor. So the whole premise about our healthcare financing is that. So there is a 150 billion, for example, that people still finance by their own pockets. And it's the small things that do not either aggregate your disease, it doesn't make you die, doesn't make you poor. And I think it's important that the country understands this so that then we don't think that everything can be financed in a space of limited resources. Because you also don't want to overburden people with the taxes, and I'm coming there. So there are also two ways of now, this other 400 billion that remains. There is a 2.7% penetration of what we call private insurance. Now, private insurance in total in the whole country is just around 98 billion. All of them combined, all the 26 medical insurance providers. So it's nothing much. And then if you combine together with what we call medical funds, for example, institutions that don't have insurance but have their own medical funds, around 98 billion. So then there is still a 302 billion that the government must do. Some of it comes through taxes that go to payment of healthcare workers, products that we buy. Some of it then now comes through the taxes that we give to the Social Health Authority in form of the Primary Healthcare Fund, where we have 13 billion, the Emergency Fund, where we have 8 billion. But then there is still a component that we must contribute. Now, not every Kenyan has the ability to contribute. So who contributes? Those who are employed. Again, those who have income through other mechanisms, whether it's a business or farming, you know, you have to contribute. So this is why we have the Social Health Insurance Fund, where we are telling Kenyans, if you're employed, you contribute 2.75%. If you're not employed, we go through a mechanism of determining what is your capacity to contribute. Because somebody who is selling in a market around Homabay, selling fish, is very different from somebody who is running a matatu business. Both of them are not employed, but one has more income. One can contribute 50,000 shillings a month, another one can't. So we have to also have inclusivity in terms of determining what's your status of contribution. But there are also those who can't, the people that we call indigents, and this is where devolution comes in. These people who can't contribute, first of all, we must find ways of bringing them in through support. And we've been working with county governments to identify, and a number of county governments have agreed to support 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people that they have to pay for. And so I think for us, financial inclusivity is extremely practical. It's not something that we can sit here and theorize. Because tomorrow and today, somebody is in a hospital and they must get the service, and that service must be paid for, whether by themselves or by the government.
And we bring up a very interesting perspective. And in my mind, I'm already wondering, you know, if the fiscal space is already tight, we've already taken out a lot of the development financing, especially that was coming from USAID, and the other is also decreasing. We are then also in a heavy tax environment, expecting patients to pay a fee for some, towards some of their services. My question, and I think now we're starting to see the pattern of the question I have here. You're part of the executive. How are you working with these guys who are deciding the money? You said you have to close that fiscal space very soon, that 35%, you have to find that money. How are you working with the nationalists, with Parliament to resolve some of these issues? What's the innovation? Because it has to be an innovation solution somewhere.
So the innovation is already in the policy, and the policy is what we present to, and my chair is here. I think Dr. Nyikal is here, the chair of our health committee. So we are on call with him every single day, but there's also a policy framework. So the financing must be based on the policy. So first of all, what exactly do we want to finance in our healthcare? So there are critical components of the healthcare system that we work with the National Assembly and the National Treasury to ring fence. So the things that are very key for us, for example, vaccination, issues that relate to human resources for health, issues that relate to, for example, oxygen, blood, all these things that we have decided we have to ring fence. But then there is also the things that have to be paid for through the benefit package, which we work with the National Assembly to increasingly provide more resources for those, like the primary healthcare fund. And I think it is important that I clarify here that the primary healthcare services, our healthcare system has already been organized, and we are keen on a publicly financed primary healthcare system. And a publicly financed primary healthcare system means it is tax funded. That is why the president has kept mentioning level 2, level 3, and outpatient level 4 should be a walk-in and walk-out, because the government has already taken that burden by itself and put 13 billion to make sure that all primary healthcare services are reimbursed. And that forms 65% of all the services in the whole country. Then there is 35% of services that remain. 30% of these services are services that require surgery, require some level of intervention. These are the ones that are financed through the contributions, the Social Health Insurance Fund. Then there is a 5% of services that are quite costly and they don't depend on the individual, like going to the ICU or getting an emergency or chronic diseases like cancer. Now, that is where we have also worked with the National Assembly and the National Treasury to ensure that is also tax funded. For example, if you get cancer, that's why we say the Social Health Authority pays 600,000. So this 5%, that's where dialysis is, that's where cancer is, that's where ICU is, that is where emergency medical treatment. And the National Assembly has also appropriated 8 billion. So we are looking at financial inclusivity from an extremely practical perspective that ensures that at the bottom of the pyramid, the 65% of services, for example, maternity, people who go into the dispensaries and the level 2s, they don't spend anything. So that is covered by government. And then there's 30% of services, but those 30% of services still cost money, the surgeries. So you can wait for that surgery for 2 months, for example. You will get it, but we are asking for contributions.
All right, and I'll come back when we're closing just to ask around those three tensions. Number one, we need to find fiscal space. Number two, we need to still pay debt. And number three, we still need to release the pressure on businesses and households. That is the big question that we're trying to answer today. And I'll come back to each of you to give me your commitments around that. And as you're thinking about that, I want to turn to Dr. Tipo. Thank you so much for being here. And I want you to give us a perspective of the marginalized communities, especially those indigenous communities that are often in ASAL regions, right? These face extreme, and devolution actually was supposed to resolve this, right? Part of the goals of devolution was to ensure that resources are getting to the areas that were marginalized before. So we're thinking about exclusion from credit markets, from infrastructure investment, agricultural chain financing, yet the economic potential remains quite high. So my question to you, Dr. Tipo, is the right of communities to manage their own affairs is enshrined in our constitution. However, indigenous communities' participation in the national discourse on PFM has been very minimal. How do we get their voices heard?
Thank you. Can you come up with your question again, please? Thank you. I was struggling with the mic. Say the question again. Yes, please, can you say the question again?
Okay. How can indigenous communities whose participation in the public finance process has been quite low start to engage more effectively?
Thank you for the question. I think I just want to start by appreciating this opportunity. And as you said, I'm currently the representative for Tanzania, but I'm covering Kenya for about a year now. So I just want to start by what we do as FAO and to just highlight that FAO put a high value on the integrity of the work we do and we do with our member states, especially the government. But the issue of inclusivity is highly I mean, is highly prioritized at our global level in our strategies. So that comes down to what we do in our country programming framework with the country, and we really value the role of the devolved governments because we know that they are closer to the communities, they engage very close in consultation. So all our programming, much as it is done at the national level with the treasury, we know the supervisory role which is played by the national government, but we believe that actions are taken at the county levels. That's why we engage with the governors and all the governments of the counties. So our programming focuses on engagement, and we make sure that all the marginalized communities are part of the planning process. They are part of the developing projects, and also we have a marker that we follow very closely when we are developing such projects. But we also ensure that everything we do is part of the integrated plan for the county offices.
And what frameworks are you using to make sure that those conversations are integrated in the budgeting processes?
So our framework, we have a 5-year plan, which is called Country Programming Framework, which is done together with the government, and we align it to the National Development Plan. And this is aligned to the entire UN Development Plan, which is also kind of focusing on what the government of Kenya is planning to do in the next plan. So we have a CPF, as it's called, and this CPF is prioritized based on what priorities each country has, or each county has. As for Asar region, we do believe and we understand that they have been marginalized. They are the most affected by the climate change. We have been planning with them. Recently, like a week ago, we launched a project in Lodwar with CS Asal and the governor of Turkana, which is focusing on the value chains which are specific to the Asar region.
Okay.
And soon we are going to launch in every county with the governors. The governor of Turkana was with us, but we also had the voices from the local communities saying that you have to focus on the locals. You have to engage them in the consultation, you have to engage them in the decision making, and that's what we are going to do during the inception phase to ensure that their voices are heard, the marginalized, the women, the disabled people, the indigenous communities, they have to be all included in our planning process with the county.
Yeah, and I think the work of development partners is quite important, ensuring that you're supporting processes that are already being done, but in this environment of reduced support, and actually maybe you can speak about this, how are you working to ensure that there's sustainability, that the government is not always looking for a way out or support, and that we can actually, in a few years, be able to stand on our own 2 feet. What is your thinking of development partners from that perspective?
Okay, thank you for this question. I think it's very important when you have a plan to put the sustainability aspect to it at the end of the grant or any funding. How will it continue? And that's why we work with the counties to ensure that the county integrated plan takes into consideration the sustainability aspect. If we have a project for 5 years, what next after the 5 years? They have to have some public finance budgeting process to carry over from where the project stops. And that's where our planning with the counties comes in, from the word go. So they understand the project, we plan with them, and they also put more resources from the public fund to let it continue after the funding ends from the from the donor community.
Yes, and I think we've come to a reckoning, especially this year around this, so we'd like to hear some more of those going forward. And Ms. Gituku, thank you also for being here, and I think it was also a good segue to talk about excluded groups. And one of the key objects of devolution is promote social and economic development and the provision of easily accessible services throughout Kenya. What actionable strategies should be employed to ensure resource allocation at both levels of government, support socioeconomic development, and service delivery at the grassroots level?
Thank you, moderator, and to the other panelists. I think earlier, before this session, we had KNBS and the State Department and other development actors talking about data. And I want to start from there. I think we need to improve the way we show up in our public finance management cycle by raising the value and the premium that we put on data, the extent to which data inform how we allocate our resources. And the Bureau, of course, have done a fantastic job in producing data on socioeconomic data, on vulnerable people, and data also includes what we collect from public participation, citizen-generated data. Unfortunately, my experience for 13 years working with counties and doing advocacy at the grassroots is that we put more weight on the governor's manifesto, on the strength of your MCA and your MP in terms of lobbying, and that leaves us more on what I would call politics-based budgeting than need-based budgeting. So, and for me, this is really a political choice that we have to make, that we make a decision to allocate resources based on where the needs are, because that is the only way you can reach the excluded population. The other opportunity that I see is, the other day I went to apply for a loan. And I went into the bank determined to negotiate the rate, because the rate now I think is like 17%, which is exorbitant. And I said I'm going to negotiate the rate down. When I asked the person who was serving me, they told me you can negotiate it down if your payslip is lit and based on your address. And whereas that sounded good to me at a personal level, I was left wondering, where does this leave the poor person who doesn't have a payslip, or they have a very weak payslip, or whose address looks risky to the bank? This population that is living in extreme poverty, that is at the bottom of the pyramid, need protection. And that protection would come in terms of national government and county government partnering with financial service provider, injecting some public finance for onward lending or even for credit guarantees, despite their limitation. We have seen that development partners, the World Bank, MasterCard Foundation, they are using those models to finance the youth, to finance GBV survivors, and they have worked to a big extent. But those partners alone, without the active participation of government, cannot achieve scale. So we might never realize the transformative impact that we seek. The other thing, where I see an opportunity is unlocking the barrier around insecure tenure rights. And I say this because counties as a function, as custodian of community land, of course, upon which when they are registered, they are supposed to be handed off to the respective communities. And of course, there is the other category of land where the mandate rests elsewhere. And we know that people use land to participate in the financial market as collateral. Unfortunately, our land system is really, I would say it is troubled. It's troubled with stalled succession. It is, I think we are only around 40-something%. I saw Usna from FAO and Doctor is here from FAO. They are the custodian of land indicators in the SDGs. I think we have around 40-something% of community land that is registered. But that is where most of these communities that we call poor are living in. If we are not going to accord them formal rights and accelerate that process of granting them formal rights and autonomy to use their land as productively as they so wish, how are they going to be included in the financial market? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think we've had some great insight today, and I really love the coordination between you all, because it's like when one piece is missing something, someone else has a solution. So for me, really, the question is, how are we coordinating to get to where we need to go? We talked about the tension between the fiscal space, paying our debt obligations, and also releasing the burden on business. And I earlier said that I was going to ask each one of you to make a quick commitment, 1 minute, a commitment that you will make that we will look forward to progress in the next Devolution conference. And I want to hear, number one, in the context of what we spoke about, the commitment you're making, the impact you expect it to have, and the success the citizens will experience because of it. So the commitment you're making, the impact you expect it to have, and the success that the citizens will experience because of it. Now, Bwana PS, you look like you're nodding. You have a ready answer for me as others are thinking through theirs.
Thank you so much. So for us, it's, as I mentioned, so first, everything is very important until you get sick. Then you realize that your health was the most important thing. Even coming to this Devolution conference, sitting here in this panel, it's extremely important. You don't want to miss anything until you get sick, and you can't do any of those things. Then you realize that your health was the most important thing. So, for the small businesses, the best way to protect your business is to get the people who work for you to be insured. And you want to make a very strong case for the Social Health Insurance Fund. So the small business, including SMEs, because you will not insure them, one person will get sick from your business, it will cost you 950,000, and you will wipe off all the capital, including all the money that you're being given from the nyota, whether you're getting it from Asla Fund, whether the governor is giving it to you. One disease, one employee will wipe out all your capital if you have to help them. And so there can be no better case than protecting the people who work for you. And we want to make this case for every single person, whether you are selling fish somewhere or selling grains, or you have a big business, you have a hardware. Because this is how we get to financial sustainability for our healthcare system, and that's the impact that we will have, so that we are self-reliant. And for me, there's no better case for financial inclusion than you taking that action. Everything is extremely important, including your business, until you get sick. Then nothing else ever mattered other than your health. Thank you.
So what's your commitment to us?
The commitment to us is that for us, what we have done is to profile the diseases and to make sure that the money that you contribute, the money that comes from the taxes, is prioritized. And we are working very well with the county governments, but the county governments must help us do something else, which we are also committing to reform hospitals to give the services that we say we will pay for. Because sometimes citizens also suffer. The Social Health Authority or the Ministry of Health can say that we are paying for your cancer, but you come to the facility managed by the county and they don't give that service. So they have to invest in that service so that the healthcare system performs.
So it's your commitment to ensure that you're going to work very closely with the county
which
health
we are
facilities,
already doing. Thank
and
you
we're
so
going
much.
to look for that impact when we see you next. Senator Okech, your commitment, the impact it will have, and the success you expect to see the next time we talk to you.
Okay, we are here now. Yeah, I just wanted to make two things clear before I say my commitment. One, the role of Senate has been wavy because of the fact that Senate does not have full legislative role that the Parliament should have, limited by the fact that Senate does not deal sometimes with, or rather does not, there is, an expanded role of this money bills and other legislation that sometimes make the National Assembly not be able to give the Devolution family what it needs in conjunction with the national government.
So I'm hearing that you
bring a conversation with the nation to make sure that there is an expanded role of the Senate in the legislative process where they cannot be able to.
For long, up to 3 months. Wow. Yes.
In the town, yes. Yes. These are all organic products, yes. Yes.
seeing is believing.
Yes.
I want to see these things in
Yeah, sure.
where they are made.
Yes.
We
You
stop
can
you
you can
there.
you can take one as
We'll
a
take you
sample.
here.
Yes. Sure. Thank you.
Pavilion. Pavilion.
Center. Yeah. This is a Marifa Center, the knowledge hub in the devolution space, one of its kind. But in it, we've invented one-stop shop, GIS as a program that we are able to collect data in all the 47 counties across the 14 devolved functions. So we have data of the status update. For example, in affordable housing, we can tell where the projects are, their status, if it's health. I think they can demonstrate just one.
Thank you, Excellency. When you look, thank you very much, Your Excellency. When you look at this GIS-based platform, where we have mapped out the locations of all the projects. So if you look at this map, you can see the national footprint of all affordable housing projects in the country. So far, we have 151,000 units that are in the country.
In the country.
Yes.
Units.
Go in a region.
Yeah.
Can go like one region.
So if you want to go into it's not working. Okay. So if you want to go to a particular region, for example, let's go to Tharaka Nithi. I'm starting with Tharaka Nithi. Oh yeah, go to Machakos, yes. If you go to Machakos, you can see we have 5,000 units we're developing there. On average, these are the projects that we have. We have the Mavoko one, Machakos Town, Machakos New City, Konza, and Athi River. Yes, and you can see the actual progress. Even you can see the actual status of each project. Yes, yes. Tharaka Nithi. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And the like. So that is a partnership that we are doing. But in terms of data, we get drill set data every day. Okay. Yes. All right. Then if you want to go to health,
so
the same.
Independent of what housing people have?
Actually, we have more data than them.
I think so.
Yes. So they said they are going to borrow this so that we synchronize the data in terms of formation, so that even them they can appreciate instead of going on site.
Yes, I would also like access to this because the one I'm using is not as elaborate.
All right.
It's a bit simple.
Yes.
Sometimes they do physical updating every month.
Okay.
And you cannot be sure.
And this is for all devolved functions.
Yes. 14. Yes. Okay. This is housed at the Council of Governors. Wow. Yes.
Ginger and Portbell, yes. So, sir, one voyage for this vessel, we can substitute it to about 37 trailers on the road. So that's like a reduction of carbon emission from to the environment, and also, yes, cargo, yes. Passenger, this is for the passenger, sir. Yes. Yes. In December, sir. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Ambulances with them, water ambulance.
Water ambulance, sir.
To serve the islands. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The islands.
So it's a boat, but it's
but equipped
with the medical.
and everything.
Yes, sir. So, sir, we also do the GRP boats. Yeah.
They have many islands.
So, sir, we do the GRP boats. These are boats made of GRP material. So, for the past few years, we've been losing quite a number of fishermen in the lake. We lose about 5,000 per year, sir. That's the one that have been recorded. So, our GRP has the anti-flip feature, sir. So, by that I mean, in case of anything in the lake, it won't sink, sir. It floats. Yes. So right now we've done quite some for Kisumu County, we've done for Homabay County, we've done for Siaya County, Busia County. Yes, yeah. Yes. And in President's President plan, sir, it was to the bottom up, sir. We've worked something for the Mama Mboga, for the Boda people. Yes, sasa wavuvi pia wa. Yes, and in that we are asking, sir, if you can zero rate our boats, sir. Okay. Yes, right. Yeah, yes. Yeah, so that also the fishermen can. Yes. Yeah.
Certainly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm in finance committee.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
You already have.
It's okay. I think
Yeah.
they're through.
We're also doing railways.
Okay.
You can see the physical boats there.
What are you doing about railways? You building
we are,
wagons?
yes, for quite some time they've been grounded, sir. So right now we've been able to bring about 23 vessels. So by this we change the engine and also we service their system. So the 23 are in operation right now, sir. Yes. Yeah. So we are dealing water. Yeah. So sir, I can take you to the to our boat.
Okay.
So, sir, so this is a patrol boat. Yes. Yeah. With the wooden boats. Yes.
This is good.
So,
This is a good boat.
yes. So, sir. Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Okay. 1.2.
Yeah, this
Yes.
is fiber.
Yes, this is
They
fiber.
even go up to 800, 1.2.
Yes.
About.
Yeah.
They've brought good prices.
Sir, if we do mass production, the price can come up to down to 800, sir. Yes. 1.2, but if we do mass production, about 800, sir. Yes, it comes. So the package is the engine, the boat, the safety gears for the fishing vessel. We also give you the cooler box.
Your Excellency, welcome to Homabay. The theme of our pavilion is raising a Atieno, just like Governor Atieno, from conception into a well-nourished, thriving, educated citizen with a life expectancy of 70 years. We first meet Atieno in the community, where the community health workers identify a mom at conception. Dr. Suri, please come and walk with His Excellency. His life here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mortality, then
Thank you, Excellency. So, as you see, we start all the way from conception. And our community health promoters are here doing an excellent job. And we begin by monitoring the mothers in terms of their blood pressure to make sure that we check all the mothers from the community who have high risk. Also blood glucose levels they can check, and generally all the well-being of the mother. And Your Excellency, we have something unique in Homabay that we are able to map every single mother who is high risk. Like you can see on the board there, that is the mother that is shown there has the Register's negative blood. So she has a danger in her pregnancy. And we have instituted high-risk pregnancies in Homabay, high-risk clinics. So all the mothers can be seen when they give birth. Your Excellency, we have managed to, in Homabay, monitor our mothers. This, although it's a mannequin, but this is a mother. And as you can see, this is what we call NASG. It is able to help this mother in management of PPH, that is bleeding when they give birth. And Your Excellency, through these interventions that we have instituted in Homabay, we have made sure that we have not lost any single mother for the last 97 days in Homabay. 98th day, sorry. We are only 2 days shy of 100 days, Your Excellency. Thank you.
And Your Excellency, that's important because we were losing quite a number of mothers a month. And even a week, we were losing mothers, particularly private, faith-based, and even in our public facilities. But this particular exhibition, we did it because of the importance of the community health workers that we put in place. They are the ones who are now able to tell us on our, GIS, which are the high-risk mothers can we follow up. And now we have seen the results. 1 day short of 100 days without losing a single mother, from losing up to 12 mothers a month.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency.
Excellency.
This is the proposed Homabay city. We are, as we said during Madaraka Day, we want to transition Homabay into a city within the next 10 years. And we are working on developing our lakefront to be the Cape Town of Kenya. So we are moving our buildings, offices, and so on away to our new county headquarters there, near the airport where you landed. That area there is the Shauriako area. It's an informal settlement at the moment, but we are negotiating with you to see if we can have social housing, so that we can raise social housing, so that we can change the face of the town. But that's our vision.
All the 47 counties here now have a GIS laboratory that they have set up, and now we're moving with the registration. We've also supported the alternative justice system, which is a way of solving this has been one of the major things that tying land is a factor of production. Apart from that, we are on the area of climate smart agriculture. We just launched here a project that was signed by the government and found $50 million, which is actually coming to the Lake Region Economic Bloc. That is we launched it in March and is going to the 14 counties here. Last week, we launched what we are calling Kasha Project, which is employment for the youth in the ASAL counties, the 15 ASAL counties, funded by the MasterCard Foundation. This was launched in Turkana County by CS Beatrice School. So we are targeting the youth in livestock value chain to give them employment.
Thank you. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency. You know this Gen Z. You know this Gen Z.
They are our partners. Yes. Thank you so much, Your Excellency. This is SMAC's Foundation. We are working with young people in agriculture, climate action, and beekeeping. This is how we do traditional beekeeping. These are the traditional instruments, which we strongly encourage because the beekeepers love the bees and they keep them well. We are, however, encouraging them to move to improved mechanisms, like the smoker, which only removes smoke from here. In the past, this removed both fire and smoke here, so it used to harm the bees. We're also encouraging our beekeepers to move to the modern beehives so that they're able to collect more honey, especially for the Kenya top beehive, which was innovated in Kenya in the 1970s. This is the Langstroth catcher box, which, as you can see, it has this kind of buzz, and the Kenya top beehive has different kind of buzz.
In between those.
Yes. Yes, it is. Also in regards to the 15 billion tree campaign, so far we've planted 754,000 trees in different parts across Kenya, and we are hoping you'll also invite us to your home area to participate in that. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Kujitegemea na kuwekeza katika kaunti zetu ni manufaa ya ugatuzi.
Baba, we baba pokea sifa.
Welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
Baba pokea sifa.
We baba pokea sifa.
Hakuna mwingine kama wewe. Baba pokea sifa.
We baba pokea sifa.
Hakuna mwingine kama wewe. Baba pokea sifa.
We baba pokea sifa.
Tunakuinua wewe Bwana. Baba pokea sifa.
We baba pokea sifa.
Thank you.
Kama wewe.
Thank you.
Baba pokea
Thank you, band.
We baba
Thank you very much, Tabian Band, for that. Asante. Now we get ready for the national anthem as well as the East African anthem. As we remain standing, Your Excellency, I would like to invite Mr. Kennedy Zungu and Sheikh Ali Abdi to lead us in a word of prayer.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Naanza kwa jina la Mwenyezi Mungu mwingi wa rehema na mwenye kurehemu. Ya Rabbi, tunakushukuru kwa kutufikisha ufanisi wa hafla hii muhimu ya ugatuzi ya Allah. Ubariki taifa letu, amani, upendo ya Allah. Ubariki Deputy President wetu Mustakinduri Kindiki pamoja na viongozi wote ya Allah. Uwabariki viongozi wetu ya Allah. Tunakuomba ubariki ugatuzi yetu, ubariki gavana wetu ya Rabbi, uwabariki wageni ambaye waliohudhuria hafla hii, na utusamehe makosa yetu ya kibinadamu ya Allah. Tunakuomba wewe ndio uko na uwezo, utubariki na utukubalie maombi yetu. Amina ya Rabbal Alamin.
We are praying. We thank you, Lord, for being with us for the last 2 days, and this is the 3rd day. We are dedicating this day unto your hands, Lord. Walk with us, and as you walk with us, Lord, we lay the lives of the family of the late Homabay, the professor, Lord. And in this congregation, we place in your hands the Deputy President of the nation of Kenya, Honorable Kindiki, O Lord. All the governors present, we place in your hands, O Lord, Her Excellency, the Governor of Homabay, all the leaders who are present here. And Lord, as we see the end of the Devolution Conference, how we pray, Lord, that may it be a blessing to the people of Kenya. For this is our humble prayer in Jesus' name.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kindly, we may take our seats. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kindiki, the Chair, Council of Governors, our host governor, deputy governors present, cabinet secretary, principal secretaries, members of the Senate, the diplomats, the stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me now to invite Mr. Latif to take over to the next program. Latif, welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, Professor Kindiki, Deputy President, the Chair of the Council of Governors, FCPA, Ahmed Abdullahi, the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, FCPA, John Badi, all governors present, all members of Parliament, members of the Diplomatic Corps, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the closing ceremony of this year's very successful Devolution Conference 2025. Indeed, Your Excellency, we've had fruitful conversations and discussions in the last 2 days. Just as you walked in, we just concluded our final plenary session, which was on strategies for action in financial inclusivity, sealing the fault lines. Now, this was one of the plenary sessions that are taking place here, and very many other side events that have taken place since Wednesday. Fruitful discussions and deliberations. As we come to this closing ceremony, Your Excellency, you shall at some point be requested to launch the model school feeding policy that's been prepared by the Council of Governors. And just to give you a taste of what that is all about, I'd like you to watch our screens and take a look at this following video, which is a summary of what the model school feeding policy is all about.
Each morning across Kenya, millions of children set off for school with dreams in their hearts. But often, empty stomachs. For many, the promise of a meal at school is not just nourishment, it's the very reason they come to learn.
Number 3, number 4.
Tulikunywa uji, tukacheza ball.
Feeding program has done a lot. You see, learners, they don't miss school because they know that there is something that they will get from it.
Yani wazazi wana ile feeling ya satisfaction wakijua mtoto wangu yuko shule na anakula.
Kenya's school feeding journey began nearly 5 decades ago. In 1978, the country launched one of its most iconic nutrition initiatives, Maziwa ya Nyayo, a school milk program introduced under President Daniel Arap Moi. Its goal was simple yet profound: to keep children in school, enhance their health, and create a more equitable learning environment. Though impactful, the program was not built to last and hence not sustainable, and eventually it faded. The 1980s and 90s brought new life to school feeding through various global partnerships. These efforts targeted Kenya's most food-insecure regions, offering life-saving support while improving enrollment and learning outcomes. But they were externally driven, reliant on donor priorities, uncertain funding, and fragile logistics.
With hunger, you cannot be interested or you cannot have the concentration in school.
In 2009, Kenya introduced a game-changing idea, the Homegrown School Meals Program, HGSMP. This approach linked learning with livelihoods, sourcing food locally, empowering farmers, and putting communities at the heart of the solution.
Personally, kama mkulima, ningependa kusema kwamba hii program ya feeding imesaidia sana. At least tunaweza sema kwamba mkulima amepata faida kidogo.
It proved that when we feed the children, we also feed economies and hope.
The food is normally hot in lunchtime.
The parents have been playing a pivotal role. We have specifically picked on one parent who provides the school with Sukuma Wiki, and over the years we have never had any issue of a learner complaining about stomach problems.
Community inasaidia kwa sababu mambo ya uji community ndio ilikuwa inatoa. Wakati wa mchele sisi kama community tuliona mchele bila kitu kingine kuweka ndani haikuwa mzuri, basi tukakubaliana na wazazi wakuwa wanatoa maragwe.
Sisi kama wazazi tunachangia pesa kidogo tu ili kuweza kusupport program ili watoto wetu wapate chakula kizuri zaidi, na tunafurahia kwa maana tunaiona.
Kama school community tumeingia kwa mifuko zetu. At least tumenunua hizo like firewood, maji na kutafuta wapishi.
The 2010 Constitution brought a new era, devolving early childhood development education, ECDE, to county governments and they had the mandate and responsibility to design school feeding programs tailored to their unique context.
Lunch na kulaga mchele na dengu na nani. Lunchtime I eat with my friends. Nikishiba naweza cheza na marafiki zangu.
Counties across Kenya rose to the challenge with innovation, determination, and compassion. From Wajir to Embu, Kisumu to Kericho, Machakos to Mombasa, new models emerged, reflecting strong political will and local ownership to ensure the children of Kenya would be served nutritious meals that would keep them healthy and enhance their participation in school.
As you can see, we have got the growing beds and we also have the growing pipes. And the kind of vegetables that we do grow here are growing very fast. And therefore, we do harvest each and every week. That is necessary to supply adequate amount of vegetables to the school feeding program.
Yet, despite the momentum, progress has been uneven. Without a shared framework, many programs were inconsistently funded, poorly coordinated, and unsustainable across the counties. The harsh realities of rising food prices and cost of living, poverty, climate shocks, social cultural barriers, and infrastructure gaps widened the cracks. Without a harmonized approach, even the best intentions can fail to reach scale.
Most of the challenges that we face is infrastructural, where even the primary school sections don't have kitchen, they cook in the open.
Sasa ninaomba nitengenezewe kitchen na majiko na nipewe kuni.
That's why the Council of Governors, with the support of Food for Education, has developed a model county school feeding policy designed to be adopted across all the 47 counties. It is envisaged that with the full adoption by the counties, the policy stands to transform the lives of over 3 million pre-primary learners across the country. School feeding programs have consistently demonstrated their power to significantly boost enrollment and retention rates at the early learning level, underscoring the urgency and far-reaching impact of this noble initiative. Therefore, this is more than a document. It's a bold commitment, a promise to every Kenyan child that hunger will no longer stand in the way of their dreams.
This model policy will guide many of the county governments which are yet to develop their own school feeding policies. As the Senate, we support this initiative by the Council of Governors and look forward to developing an overarching legislation to guide county governments on school feeding programs.
This policy is built on 8 pillars designed to address critical areas such as 1. Social protection and inclusion. No child, regardless of where they are born, should be left behind. 2. Nutrition and health promotion. Because nutritious food means better learning, stronger bodies, and a brighter future for all children. 3. Community engagement. Parents, teachers, and local leaders are no longer bystanders but co-creators of solutions. 4. Infrastructure. Building kitchens, dining spaces, and clean water systems to support safe and dignified feeding environments. 5. Food storage, handling, and safety. Implementing quality control across the value chain from delivery to the child's plate. 6. Financing. Establishing innovative, sustainable funding models, including public, private, and philanthropic contributions. 7. Partnerships, harnessing the strengths of government, NGOs, the private sector, and local producers. 8. Governance, coordination, and accountability, promoting transparency, data-driven planning, and continuous evaluation across all levels of implementation.
I would like to urge the various government agencies involved that, if possible, they should support school feeding programs because it is very helpful to the learners.
Wazazi wengi walinikubali hili swali na sidhani kama kuna mzazi analipinga.
This benefits our children. I, being a parent, it benefits my child. So I am game with it. I am in for it.
So Governor, nawaomba kumbatieni kitu kwa moyo wenu msafi kabisa na mutaona matunda yake.
This is Devolution's moment, a moment to unite all the 47 counties under a bold and shared vision to nourish every child, fulfill dreams, and empower communities to build a nation where food is not a privilege but a right. Because no child, regardless of their background, should be left behind due to classroom hunger.
Please, a warm round of applause for that. Your Excellency, as you see, when we invite you here to come and launch, you will be launching something that's a game changer. And not just a game changer in terms of policy, but a game changer for lives. Because children will now be having a way and a means and a motivation to attend school and to remain in school. Allow me now, Your Excellency, to call up on stage the Chair of the Steering Committee of Devolution Conference, who is also the Vice Chair of the Council of Governors, and also the Governor for Nyeri County, His Excellency Dr. Mutahi Kahiga, to come and present the joint communique of this year's Devolution Conference. A round of applause, please, for His Excellency Dr. Kahiga as he comes up on stage. And let's take a keen eye and a keen listen to what the communique says, because 2 years from today, we shall all be holding them accountable for whether the realization of these actions.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the Chair of the Council of Governors, colleague governors, CS Bandi, all honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, I have with me the joint communique that is meant to be read at the end of this devolution conference. We have 24 resolutions that are broken down into 3 thematic areas, like you remember, the ones that we had: good governance, on human rights and social justice, on financing, equity and inclusion. I will not be able to read them now because we are constrained of time, but we are going to post them in our website. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Kahiga. Let's now hear remarks from the host county, and we'll have the Speaker of the Homabay County Assembly, Honorable Polycarp Ouma Okombo, coming up on stage to give remarks on behalf of the County Assembly, and of course, talking about what the Homabay County has done in hosting us. And we all acknowledge that they have really done a splendid job. So let's give them a warm round of applause as the Speaker comes to deliver his remarks.
To the Deputy President, allow me to ride on the protocol as already been established, and also allow me to welcome you officially to Homabay County, the land of endless potential. The past 2 days, the pioneers of devolution has been in this podium, and they have made remarkable remarks as far as devolution is concerned. So I wouldn't want to talk too much to contradict them, since most of what the county assemblies were advocating for had been well articulated by our able chairman of the CAF, who is also the Speaker of the Kwale County, where the issues were revolving around the World Fund, MCS pensions, and also financial independence. Your Excellency, our role as the County Assembly are only three, which is legislation, oversight, and representation. In Homabay County, in the recent past, we have come up with many policies and many bills that has always supported Her Excellency the Governor to implement some of our promises to the voters and enable the devolution to work. Chief among them, there are about 14, but chief among them, if you have been touring Homabay County since you were here, and you've seen how our beachfront is coming up and it's looking nice, we came up with Homabay Lakefront Development Corporation Bill that has now enabled Our Excellency to fulfill our dream of making Homabay County a city. Also, because here, most of the panelists were also talking about how can we include the SMEs when it comes to the devolution. We also come up with the Homabay Entrepreneur Access Development and Affirmative Action Bill that will enable our SMEs to get what we call the initial outlay, which is the much needed capital for their businesses to thrive. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, down here, we normally believe that Baba is always right. When he did talk about the oversight of the governor and the county executive, he did mention that he would like this to be done at the assembly level, where we invite the governor and the executives. And it has been a controversial topic since yesterday. And even the panelists that have spoken some few minutes ago have also alluded to it. I can reliably assure you that we, as the Assembly, normally invite the executive and the different committees to oversight them at the primary level. What now remains, after giving clear reports on our recommendation, is now the implementation of these reports. And I believe that is now where the Senate needs to plug in to ensure that the reports are actually implemented to the latter. I have watched quite often when our own Senator Moses Kajwang invites different governors at the Senate level to answer some pertinent issues that affect the counties. And normally what I wonder, where I sit, is that at the time that the audit is being done by the Auditor General, they find out some gaps where most of it is non-production of the documents. But when they reach at the Senate level, now you see the documents are being produced. Then you wonder why now the executive gets these documents. It means there's a gap somewhere. It means there's somebody that is letting down the executive, the people who are responsible to be giving these documents. Your Excellency, let me also take this humble opportunity to also thank the President for signing into law the bill that has given the county assemblies an autonomy. I want to reiterate his sentiments by saying that this financial independence should be used prudently to serve the people through a clear, transparent, and in an accountable manner while doing our oversight role. Besides, financial independence does not mean that we now fight the executive. We can perform that responsibility in a professional, effective manner and point out the areas that require improvement, since there's always room for improvement in order to take corrective action. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, for bottom-up economic model to be fully incorporated in our economy, there is also need to ensure that World Fund is also included in the new law creating NGCDF as requested by our chairman of CAF. MCAs are the gate to the people at the bottom of the economic pyramid. They interact with them on a daily basis and understand their unique needs that should be addressed. When we give an opportunity to manage some funds at that level, I think more meaningful development will be realized. As you retreat back to your respective counties, remember that the former US President Barack Obama, who is also our son, said, "We must leave this world a better place than we inherited it from our grandchildren. Let us strive to make devolution work by engaging in programs that will help better our society." Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me now, Your Excellency, to call up on stage the Whip of the Council of Governors, His Excellency Governor Stephen Sang, to come and run the rest of the program, which will lead to you delivering the closing remarks. Asante.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Chair of Council of Governors, the host governor, all Excellency Governors, colleagues, ministers present, and all delegates, on behalf of the Council of Governors, we want to take this opportunity to thank all of us for taking time to attend this devolution conference. We want to thank the President of the Republic of Kenya. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President. We also want to thank the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, all Cabinet Secretaries, all PSS, all delegates that were able to come to this session and attend this conference, all our colleague governors, deputy governors, MCAs, and the members of the public who attended this conference. You made a difference in attending this conference. Again, we want to thank Gladys Wanga, the host governor specifically, for pulling through this event. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, when we sat down and we agreed on Homabay, we knew Wanga was going to do well because we have always known her in what she does within the Council of Governors. We didn't expect that she would pull such a big and monumental event here in Homabay, and this is a good lesson for us. Maybe the next time we need to consider going maybe to the north and any other county, because indeed commitment can deliver such a big event. So Gladys Wanga and your local leadership here, led by the senator, your members of parliament, your MCAs, and the entire team of the leadership from Homabay County, we are very grateful. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors and our partners, particularly 3 of our platinum sponsors, that is Kenya Commercial Bank, Safaricom PLC, and Jospong Group of Companies. We want to thank those are our 3 platinum sponsors and partners. We also want to thank FLOCA, FAO, EU, CPF, Cooperative Bank, GIZ, Lab Fund, World Bank, UKAID, Danish Embassy, AGRA, KBL, Equity, ILO, Isuzu, Kenya Airways, KEPRO, and CBM. And all our partners, we want to thank you in a very special way for making this event a success. We also want to thank our host here, the Homabay National School, for giving us the grounds. We also want to thank Homabay Primary School. We also want to thank Lala Primary, KMTC Homabay, Got Rabor Masawa, for providing us with ample space that we used in this event. We also want to thank our vendors and suppliers, our exhibitors, for making this event a success. Again, we want to thank all the counties for contributing to the Devolution Conference, all our participants, everybody that we gave the opportunity. Those who are running the 48 side events, we want to thank you in a very special way. Last but not least is to thank the steering committee, led by our Vice Chair, Mwalimu Kahiga. You have demonstrated a lot of commitment in running this. You have been to Homabay almost 3 or 4 times, chairing several meetings here. We want to thank you and the steering committee in a very special way for the work that you have done in pulling this through. And also our planning committee, chaired by our CEO, Mary Mwiti, together with the dedicated staff within the COG. The COG Secretariat, we know for the last 2 or so months you have not slept, working around the clock to pull this through. We want to thank you in a very special way. And of course, the overall leadership of COG, led by our chairman. Asante sana FCPA for the work that you have done, and everybody. The speech was long, and I am not going to go through the entire speech word by word. The message is this: we are very grateful. Whoever played a role, those of us who have contributed in a very special way, we want to say thank you. I now want to take this opportunity to invite our host governor, Governor Gladys Wanga, who has pulled through this huge event. Tumpigie makofi Gladys Wanga, and she will run the program to the end. Karibu sana, Governor.
Asante sana. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, I think Governor Sang is thanking me profusely, maybe for the conference, but also because last night I brought for him some Ogangla singers, and he unleashed some very good talent in dancing. So he unleashed some very good dancing talent, and I hope you did enjoy yourself. So, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, our Council of Governors Chairman, His Excellency FCPA Ahmed Abdullahi, and the Vice Chairman, His Excellency Mutahi Kahiga, colleague governors present, deputy governors led by my own Deputy Governor, His Excellency Oyugi Magwanga, please just wave for recognition. Asante sana for the support that you've given us to go through with this. Honorable Senators and members of the National Assembly, led by our own local team, Homabay here. Please, our local MPs, please just rise. And when I say local, I mean the entire region. Please, I just want to recognize you so that you can be seen. You've been here throughout. Honorable George Peter Pondokaluma, Area MP for Homabay Town Constituency. Honorable Dr. Joyce Osogo Bensuda, MP for Homabay County. Honorable Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang, our Senator for Homabay and Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee in the Senate, Honorable Senator Eddie Okech, Senator for Migori County and Chairman of the Transport Committee, Honorable Dr. James Wambura Nyikal, Member of Parliament for Seme and Chairman of the Health Committee in the National Assembly, Asante Sana, Honorable Senator Catherine Muma, nominated Senator from Kisumu County, Asante Sana. Our County Executive Committee members, please just rise. The CCs from Homabay, just rise and wave. Asanteni Sana, you've done a good job. You have put in a lot of work to make this happen. Members of constitutional commissions and independent officers, development partners, private sector, academia, media, and civil society, our esteemed partners and exhibitors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, when we opened the DevCon 2025 3 days ago, we set out to show that devolution is not just a constitutional chapter, it is the living engine for equity, inclusion, and social justice. And you, our delegates, have shown it in action. We began on the first day with a good governance, where we reminded ourselves that transparency, accountability, and citizen participation are the backbone for devolved success. Sharing innovations from open data portals, automation, digitization, to drone-delivered medicines. We then moved to the second day on human rights and social justice, where we agreed that no Kenyan should be left behind, whether they are a woman in a rural market, a young innovator in an urban hub, a person living with disability, or a refugee seeking dignity. Today, the third day, Your Excellency, is on financing equity and inclusion, where we tackled the tough question of how to fund our ambitious and fairly and sustainably exploring innovative financing approaches, including private sector partnership, MSME financing, equitable health budgets, poor procurement, and climate resilience funding. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you, Your Excellency Deputy President, to Homabay and DevCon 2025. It is befitting that you are the chief guest for the closing session, given your role as the chair of IBEC. You have reformed IBEC to an effective engagement forum for both national and county governments. From where we were somewhere where we were just a talk shop, moving around, you have reformed IBEC to an effective engagement platform where things get done. We urge you, Your Excellency, to continue strengthening IBEC until we fully operationalize the concept of funds following functions. DevCon was not just about plenaries and panels. It was about people, connections, and shared experiences. Before the conference began, Your Excellency, we hosted a vibrant pre-devolution conference experience that turned Homabay into a playground of culture, innovation, and adventure. Delegates witnessed the bold creativity of our youth at the Innovate 254 hackathon, felt the thrill of skating and bicycle racing through our streets, and embraced the rhythm of the bay with spirited boat racing and island hopping from Rusinga to Takawiri on the water bus. We brought back the spirit of community with traditional games like Ajua, the energy of tug of war, and the endurance of the Rowan Marathon. Your Excellency, we took Governor Kahiga to the Ruma National Park, and you remember when you were in your office, he was asking whether he was really going to sleep in a tent. He truly slept in a tent, and he realized he could sleep actually and wake up in the tent and still be here for the conference. We hope that you will tell a different story of Homabay now that you have come and experienced the bay with all its beauty. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the people of Homabay to extend a heartfelt gratitude to all those who made this conference impactful. Even if COG, as the whip has done, has appreciated everybody, I feel heavily in my heart that because of the gratitude we feel on behalf of Homabay, to just say thank you once more. We thank His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, for opening the conference and reaffirming the national government's commitment to devolution. We heard him loud and clear on the challenges he raised. For Homabay, we further thank the President for opening the Homabay County headquarters, the Ugatuzi Amphitheater, and laying the foundation stone for the Tom Mboya University Students' Village, being the first student accommodation to be launched in the entire country. We thank also the Right Honorable Raila Odinga for inspiring us with his unwavering belief in a Kenya that works for all. As the father of devolution, he spoke eloquently on the question of enhanced funding for counties. Funds should follow functions, and where the funds are held by the national government agencies, they should be released to counties. Your Excellency, Deputy President, we also thank you for honoring us today and helping us close this conference with wisdom and focus on devolution. To the Council of Governors and all the governors present for steering the devolution cause with a unity of purpose. I once again thank my colleague governors led by our chairman, His Excellency FCPA, Ahmed Abdullahi, and Vice Chairman, Dr. Mutahi Kahiga, for choosing Homabay to host DevCon 2025. We were the least expected of places to be able to bid and host this conference. But I am glad that you believed in us, and I'm also glad that we didn't disappoint you. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, who was our guest yesterday and shared important lessons on devolution, including the issue of stalled projects. The Cabinet Secretaries who attended DevCon 2025 and shared important perspectives on devolution for their dockets. The Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Adan Duale, our CS for National Treasury, who is also a son of the soil. Our CS, we are proud of you. We say money sleeps here in Homabay. People think literally if they come, they can see the money. But we thank you for working together with His Excellency the President and Deputy President to turn around our economy, and we are very, very proud of you as a son of this very soil. We also thank the CS for Tourism, Honorable Rebecca Miano, the CS for Energy, Honorable Pio Wandai. We thank the principal secretaries who have also taken their time to be with us here today and even the previous days. And the ones who are here today, please just rise. We'd just like to recognize you as well, the principal secretary for medical services, the principal secretary for children's affairs, Karen Agengo, the principal secretary for devolution, I can't see too well, but our other principal secretaries, Asanteni Sana. Thank you very, very much. The Senate for protecting and defending devolution, and for the senators who attended our conference led by our very own senator and the Speaker of the Senate, Speaker Amason Jaffa Kingi. The National Assembly for ensuring our legislative frameworks respond to the realities of our people, and for the MPs who attended DevCon 2025 led by the strong Homabay team. The County Assembly's Forum, the County Speakers, and all MCAs. MCAs from Homabay, if you're here, just rise and wave as well. Asanteni sana. Our development partners for investing your time, your expertise, and resources in this particular conference. Our pre-DevCon partners, including the Kenya Shipyard Limited, NUPEA, the NSDCC, KWS, KTB, SHOFCO led by Dr. Dede, our UN Mandela Award winner, and all other partners. Our delegates who traveled from far and wide, some crossing oceans, your presence has enriched these deliberations. Our service providers, the DevCon Steering Committee, and the Technical Committee led by our CEO, Madam Mary Mwiti. Because I was here with you guys throughout, I know the work that you've done. I don't know if the Secretariat are here. Please just rise and wave. You guys have done a great job. Your Excellency DP, when you see a conference like this, sometimes you think there are huge people, event organizers who are doing the work. The work is done by some young men and women here, led by Madam Mary Mwiti, and they do an excellent, excellent job. I leave you with a thought that promises are like babies, easy to make, but hard to deliver. Let us ensure that the promises of DevCon 2025 are not confined to the communiques, but are translated into tangible change for our people. Real human interest stories like the ones our Fundimangula graduates share, stories of transformation and livelihood change. Devolution must be about transforming lives. Devolution must be about delivering on county functions. Devolution must be living the promise of the Constitution 2010. Devolution is the currency for powering our economic growth. Your Excellency, I thank everybody, and where we may have offended you or not met your expectations, please do forgive us. But otherwise, we hope that we have granted you a wonderful stay in Homabay. Please make time to come back again and visit this bay of endless potential. Asanteni sana.
Another round of applause for Governor Wanga. Asante sana. In an attempt to shorten that, our vote of thanks, we forgot the key three organizers of this forum is the Senate, the Council of Governors, and the Office of the Deputy President. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, and your office, the State Department of Devolution for the support and the work that has gone into this organization. We also want to thank the Senate, the Right Honorable Speaker of the Senate, Bwana Kingi, and our colleague senators who are present here, Kajwang and your team. We really want to thank the Senate for the support and the entire Secretariat of the Senate that has supported us in this engagement. I now want to invite Waziri John Mbadi, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, to come and make his remarks. Waziri, it is too early for us to make judgment as to what you are doing, but whatever it is that you are doing, keep doing. It's working. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki, the Honorable Chair of the Council of Governors, Honorable Governors present here led by the host Governor Gladys Wanga, Honorable Members of Parliament, both the National Assembly and the Senate, Honorable Speakers of County Assemblies, distinguished officers from the national and county governments, representatives of the civil society organizations, development partners, members of the private sector, fellow Kenyans, good afternoon. It is my honor to be present at this Devolution Conference, which has adopted a theme for the people, for prosperity, devolution as a catalyst for equity, inclusion, and social justice. Authentic inclusion must promote the participation of the people. Broadened participation that is in line with the principle of prudent management of public resources dictates that we move from the national space and engage at the devolved space where the people are. When you communicate clear and progressive messages, as has been done by the presidency, you find wide support by those who mean well for the nation. And of course, in a big nation like ours, you can't also fail to find the bad apples. A few people will never believe that the country is moving forward, and you will see them all over the place. You'll find them even outside the country, stationed there to talk negatively about the country. But we live with such people amidst us. This is why this conference theme aligned fairly well with the theme for the budget statement for the financial year 2025-2026, which I read on 12th of June 2025. That is, stimulating sustainable economic recovery for improved livelihoods, job creation, and business, and a national prosperity in line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. This national administration's commitment to devolution is evident. The equitable share transfers have financed roads, health facilities, water projects, and other critical infrastructure across our 47 counties. Your Excellency, I would pause there a bit and just mention that I believe for the first time in so many years since devolution began, that we were able to agree on shareable revenue and have the division of revenue bill assented to before 30th of June of the financial year leading to the next financial year. This came about because of cooperation and understanding between the national government, the two arms of the legislature, and the Council of Governors, where, Your Excellency, you will remember that when the Parliament asked that we allow for not less than 415 billion to be allocated or put to the shareable revenue, I actually called you, Your Excellency, and informed you about the same, and later called His Excellency the President, and we mutually agreed. And when I communicated to Parliament, we were able to crack it and agree in a record time. That is what we call supporting devolution. I know the funds are not yet enough, but we are progressively moving to where we will be allocating enough resources to support service provision to our counties. Something also worth noting, Your Excellency, is that again, for the first time in a long period of time, we were able to transfer all the resources in terms of shareable revenue to the 47 counties before the end of financial year, including the arrears from the previous financial year. And I want to report here, Your Excellency, and I know the President must have spoken to this, that last Monday we managed to transfer the July allocation to our counties. And I want to give a commitment that we will continue to prioritize funding to counties. We'll be releasing money in good time for our counties to be able to move and provide services to our people. However, Your Excellency, the promise of devolution can only be fully realized if both the national and county governments work in close partnership, grounded in mutual accountability and prudent financial management. The example that we see in this county is a clear example of both national and county governments partnering together to deliver services to the people. Your Excellency, when you move around in this county, and more particularly in Homabay town, you will see massive improvement in this town. This is something that was not there 3 years ago. Your Excellency, it is as a result of partnership and cooperation between the two levels of government. And I believe that our county government, led by Governor Gladys Wanga, will still continue to partner with us at the national government level to be able to give services to our people. And that should be replicated across the country. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the rich discussions at this conference will align to and find support in the National Treasury at implementation. I want to guarantee that. You will recall, for example, that as a commitment towards attainment of universal health coverage, the national government allocated well over 204 billion shillings towards the sector in the financial year 2025-2026. To promote inclusive development, the National Treasury has been implementing a number of initiatives, such as the Kenya Rural Financing Inclusion Facility Project, Credit Guarantee Scheme targeting the MSMEs, and establishment of Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company targeting to support the affordable housing program. I am happy to report that these initiatives are beginning to bring positive results, which have already been outlined in the course of the conference. Allow me, however, to highlight one initiative, that is financing climate action. Through this program, Your Excellency, the National Treasury has disbursed well over 7 billion shillings to 47 counties as part of the second tranche of the County Climate Resilience Investment grants under the Financing Locally Led Climate Action Program, otherwise known as FLOCA. This substantial investment marks a significant milestone in Kenya's climate financing architecture, reinforcing the country's commitment to locally led, community-driven climate action. Supported by the government of Kenya, the World Bank, and the governments of Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands, the county climate resilience investment grants respond to the urgent need for effective, locally led climate actions. The funding allows county governments to operationalize their county climate change action plans and invest in priority climate resilience. For the disbursement for the financial year 2025-26 will empower communities most vulnerable to climate change to drive sustainable development and long-term resilience. Our progress speaks volumes, and to date, the program has achieved remarkable national coverage, reaching 1,137 wards out of 1,450 ward target, which is a performance of 78.4%. Each new ward represents another community equipped to write its own climate resilience story. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, in the education sector, the national government has committed to continue undertaking education reforms, expanding infrastructure in all learning institutions, and strengthening linkages between industry and training institutions in order to enhance access to education at all levels. Priority will be given to recruitment and training of teachers, enrollment of school children of pre-primary age in schools. In recruitment and training of teachers, Your Excellency, this audience will appreciate that this government made a promise to employ 100,000 teachers in 5 years. As we speak, the performance level is at 76%. 76,000 teachers have been recruited, and we plan to recruit additional 24,000 in December and January, completing the 100% way ahead of the targeted time period. We will be expanding school feeding program, or supporting expansion of school feeding program and providing learners with day meals. Construction and equipment of TVET institutions in 52 constituencies is ongoing, equipping 72 existing TVET institutions, recruiting 2,000 technical trainers and instructors, and establishing incubation centers in every TVET institution, and online learning in TVET institutions and universities. Your Excellency, allow me to highlight a few more issues on devolution as a catalyst for prosperity. By bringing resources, decision-making, and services closer to the people, devolution has opened new pathways for inclusive growth, job creation, and equitable development across all 47 counties. It has enabled previously marginalized areas to access infrastructure, health services, education, and economic opportunities, narrowing the historical inequalities that have long been hindered national cohesion. When effectively managed, devolution becomes an engine that not only drives economic expansion, but also ensures that prosperity is felt in every village, in every town, and every community across our nation. However, in order to continue to achieve this prosperity, public finance management reforms is critical in both levels of government. The National Treasury established the Public Financial Management Reforms Secretariat to coordinate public finance management reforms at both levels of government. The overall objective of the reforms is to achieve a public finance management system that promotes transparency, accountability, equity, fiscal discipline, and efficiency in the management and use of public resources for improved service delivery and economic development. Currently, the Secretariat, through the implementing counties and MDAs, are implementing PFM reform strategy of 2023-2028. Some of the reforms we are advocating and requesting for collaboration from the county governments include compliance with the fiscal responsibility principles as set out in the Public Finance Management Act, Cap 412A, full rollout and implementation of the tariffs and pricing policy, and implementation of the national policy on enhancement of county government's own source revenue. Specifically, on the management of wage bill, the National Treasury has supported the re-engineering of Human Resource Information System Kenya. The system is meant to consolidate human resource data in the public service data and put in place effective wage bill controls. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I would like to appeal to greater collaboration with the county governments and the other stakeholders on the following few areas. Number one, I want to speak to Parliament first. To Parliament on fast-tracking enactment of the County Government's Additional Allocation Act. As you are aware, Your Excellency, delays in enacting the County Government's Additional Allocation Bill have become a perennial problem, leading to late disbursements, disruption in service delivery, and low absorption of additional allocations at the county level. It has also led to fiscal inefficiencies, resulting in additional costs to the country in the form of commitment fees and interest charged on foreign borrowing. To this end, I would like to call upon Parliament to support the executive and the county governments in fast-tracking the bills to ensure that they are disbursed and absorbed in a timely manner. Number two, to county governments on transition to the treasury single account. To enhance cash management, the migration of ministries, departments, and agencies to the treasury single account is progressing well. As the National Treasury onboards the county governments in 2026, I would appeal for your support on the same. This will help in prudent cash management at both levels of government. Number three, still to county governments, on transition to e-procurement or e-government procurement. There is need to foster and bolster accountability and transparency in the management of public finances, which remains as a key agenda in our nation. To this end, we are in the process of fully automating public procurement and asset disposal processes. In the spirit of prudence, we urge all counties to embrace and comply with these reforms. Transparency and accountability must be our shared currency, because every shilling we manage is held in trust for the people of Kenya. Number four, again to county governments, and that will be the last comment I'm making. To county governments on unremitted pension liabilities. Analysis of data on unremitted pension contributions are submitted by the Local Authorities Trust Fund, Local Authorities Provident Fund, National Social Security Fund, Public Service Superannuation Fund, County Pension Fund, indicates that a substantial amount of pension debt is due from the county governments. Pension debt by the county government has accumulated over the years from 23.3 billion relating to the defunct local authorities, that is pre-devolution, inclusive of accrual deficits, to now over 103.2 billion as at 31st of October 2024, post-devolution. And to be honest here, this is criminal. If you are supposed to pay salary to a staff, and part of that salary is supposed to go to his or her pension, there is no rationale in paying half of the salary and leaving the rest of the salary with you or with the county government to implement other things or to pay other things. It is not fair, it is unjust, because this money belongs to people who will one time retire. And when people retire, they want to go home with something. You are killing the future of individuals, some people in the country. So please, whatever it takes, we must now start the culture of remitting all deductions to where they should be remitted. So I'm calling upon the county government and the relevant institutions concerned, and this is not just in the county level, even at the national level we have some of these challenges. We are calling upon the county governments and the relevant institutions concerned to verify and clear the debts to safeguard the social securities of our pensioners. Finally, very finally, let us all diligently play our roles of strengthening service delivery, upholding accountability, and ensuring that no Kenyan is left behind. I want to give a commitment, in so long as I'm still the Cabinet Secretary in charge of National Treasury, that we at the National Treasury will play our parts. The executive, the national government will play our parts in supporting devolution.
A better applause for Waziri Mbadi. Thank you very much. It's now my humble pleasure to invite the Chairman of the Council of Governors, FCPA, Ahmed Abdullahi, to come and make his remarks, and in turn invite our chief guest, who will close the conference for us, Tumpigie makofi bwana chairman. And Wanga, you were unfair on me on my dancing skills. I think chairman may have beaten me on that.
Thank you very much, Whip. Your Excellency, our chief guest, the Honorable Professor Kindiki Kithure, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellency Governors here present, led by my Vice Chair and the host, Governor Gladys Wanga, Deputy Governors, Cabinet Secretaries, and Principal Secretaries, recognize the presence of CS4 National Treasury, Honorable Members of the Senate and the National Assembly, Judiciary representatives, leaders of Homabay County and the Greater Nyanza region, ambassadors and high commissioners, principal secretaries, speakers and members of the county assemblies, all national and county government representatives, private sector and civil society representatives, development partners, international delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, we're glad to have you. We don't take it for granted that you found time out of your busy schedule to come and close this conference for us. As we draw the curtains on yet another historic Devolution conference, I am filled with deep sense of pride and hope over the last 3 days and before that for the other pre-Devolution conference activities. We have come together from across the country to reflect, exchange ideas, and recommit ourselves to the vision and promise of a prosperous and inclusive Kenya through devolved governance. I extend our deepest gratitude to His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and also to His Excellency the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kindiki Kithure, and the former Prime Minister and my party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and all national and county leaders who have graced us with their presence and actively participated in our discussions. Your leadership, Your Excellencies, and support continues to inspire and sustain our devolution journey. From 12th August, we had rich, honest, and insightful conversations. On Wednesday, the theme was Good Governance Day. The theme was Good Governance. We called it Good Governance Day. We interrogated how our counties can deepen public participation, civic education, transparency, rule of law, and citizen oversight. We were reminded that good governance is not a destination, but a daily practice. On Thursday, we marked the Human Rights and Social Justice Day, where we took a bold step forward in reinforcing the constitutional promise of dignity, equality, and non-discrimination. The discussions were heartfelt and deeply necessary. We unpacked political, civil, cultural, and socioeconomic rights and examined actions that counties need to take to become pillars of the realization of human rights. We acknowledge the progress made, but we also recognize the urgent need to close the gap between the policy and practices. Counties must become true champions of the human rights-based approach, placing people at the heart of every development plan. Today, this morning, we had the Financing Equity and Inclusion Day. We have been challenged to ask the hard questions: how do we sustainably fund the devolution dream, from exploring how counties can unlock access to finance medium, small, micro enterprises, to tackling matters of equitable division of revenue between the two levels of government. The conversations were solution-driven and enlightening. In addition to the plenum session, the side events played a critical role in enriching our understanding of sector-specific concerns and innovations. These sessions allowed for deep dives and peer learning. The insights gathered here must now inform our county strategies and shape future policy interventions. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what has been clear throughout this conference is that devolution is not just a governance system, it's an lived experience. It is our mothers receiving maternity care at local health centers. It is our young entrepreneurs accessing credit for the agribusiness. It is our children accessing the best education. The resolutions we have adopted are not just words on paper, they are a call to action, a call to all of us, as leaders and public servants, the civil society, the private sector, and the Kenyan citizen to uphold the constitutional spirit of Article 174 and make devolution work in every corner of this republic. As we leave Homabay and return to our respective workstations, may we carry with us the spirit of this conference and a renewed energy, a sharper vision, and a wavering commitment to serve. Let us be bold in our leadership and consistent in our service. As I conclude, Your Excellency, I'll conclude by thanking all those who made this conference a success. The county government of Homabay, under the leadership of Her Excellency Gladys Wanga. My sister, you have exceeded our expectations. We thank you. We also want to thank the steering committee under the able leadership of my Vice Chair, Dr. Mutahi Kahiga, the planning committee, which was chaired by our CEO. We want to thank all the platinum sponsors. We want to thank all the resource persons, service providers, partners, delegates, civil society organizations, the media, and above all the citizens of Kenya who were participating delegates at this conference. Your engagement and commitments to continue to breathe life into the devolution dream. Your Excellency, just on two issues that were raised by the speaker before me, our brother, the CS Badi. CS Badi, want to thank you for all the efforts you're making in reducing the time that we take to access funds. There definitely has been an improvement since you came into that role. We don't take it for granted, we appreciate it. On pensions debt, I'll have discussions with you on how to deal with the historical pensions debt. Part of it is clearly not what counties can pay out of their current equitable share. Mistakes were made, and we just have to have bailout in certain instances if we have to make that good. It also raises questions of the oversight then. On the issue of the Conditional Allocations Act, yes, there are delays in passing, and it's been a problem. You know how we've been filibustered on RMLF by the National Assembly. I don't want to discuss that here. I want to end on a good note. But we also have a challenge of national government budget not appropriating even what is passed by the two houses after lengthy mediation. So we have a County Additional Allocations Act, which then allocates us funds that we can't access because they have not been appropriated in the national government budget. I think those are conversations we will have. At this point, I want to invite Your Excellency, the Deputy President, to address us. Your Excellency, you have brought professionalism and a voice of reason into that office. From an IBEC that we dreaded to one that we look forward to attend, I must thank you, Your Excellency. Asante sana. No wonder you are a professor.
An opportunity and a benefit because for the same reason that we all want to get traveling home, concentration capacity is at its lowest, and therefore the last speaker can get away with anything. It is with great optimism I deliver these remarks at the conclusion of a very successful 9th Devolution Conference held in this beautiful and vibrant county of Homabay. I commend the Homabay County for once again demonstrating its capacity to host national events with excellence and distinction, having only recently hosted the 2025 Madaraka Day celebrations with remarkable success. The warmth of the people of Homabay, the efficiency of the leadership of Homabay County, and the flawless logistical arrangements enjoyed here speak volumes about what devolution can achieve. This conference, therefore, comes at an opportune time, resonating with the hopes and dreams of every resident of this county, for its testament to the true spirit of devolution and the vision of equal development and opportunity across the length and breadth of this great Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, over the past 4 days, the 9th Devolution Conference has served as a critical policy forum, facilitating evidence-based dialogue, peer learning, stakeholder reflection on the trajectory of Kenya's devolution agenda. Participants have rigorously interrogated data, shared subnational innovations, synthesized citizen feedback, and reaffirmed our collective commitment to embedding equity, inclusion, and social justice into the fabric of the devolved government's structure. The 9th Devolution Conference has brought into sharp focus some of the most enduring and structural challenges facing devolution today. Significantly, the deliberations have been grounded in data, participatory evidence, and collaborative results. Additionally, this conference has served as a mechanism of accountability, reaffirming that devolution is more than a constitutional aspiration. It is a practical and developmental instrument for advancing spatial equity, participatory democracy, and transformative service delivery. In so doing, the conference has underscored the future of devolution lies in institutional innovation, shared responsibility, and policy execution that centers on the citizen. The deliberations of this conference were structured under particular themes. The good governance theme reaffirmed a central truth that public participation, civic engagement, social accountability, and fidelity to the rule of law are not just discretionary ideals. The deliberations on human rights and social justice brought into sharp focus the imperative of embedding a rights-based approach within our devolved governance structures. As we bring this year's Devolution Conference to a close, I reaffirm the national government's unwavering commitment to strengthening devolution, because devolution remains our most powerful tool for driving inclusion, equity, and social justice for us prosperous Kenya. I commend the National Treasury for maintaining a strong disbursement performance despite the prevailing fiscal situation. And as the Minister has said, as of end of June 2025, all the disbursements, including the arrears of the previous financial year, have been settled. I encourage continued collaboration of the national and county governments in the execution of key priority projects that we are partnering to deliver. For example, the county aggregation and industrial parks, which remain a critical anchor to the job creation agenda. In the health sector also, through the partnership of both levels of government, Kenya has now enrolled in excess of 25.5 million residents under Taifa Care, administered by the Social Health Authority, SHA. This is a major step towards achieving universal health coverage. The national government will be reaching out to county governments to activate a joint plan to engage our young people in targeted interventions. The young people of Kenya have expressed their reservations with the government's speed and efficiency in executing the agenda for job and income opportunity creation. Tied to these reservations are concerns relating to integrity and transparency and accountability. There is need, therefore, for greater level of engagement with our young people, and I commend this conference for starting the conversations with and involving the young people. And I hope this will be a culture in our country so that going forward we can have regular sessions of engagement across generations, across gender, across other divisions to build a stronger country. Going forward, the youth will play a very important role in Kenya's social transformation. And therefore, we hold them dearly as part of our endeavor to create national solutions for the problems facing our society today. The government does not brush over the concerns raised by young people. Instead, we are committed to securing spaces for dialogue and continuous consultations to ensure that we enhance trust in the institutions of government. And when I say government, it is the two levels of government. This we must do in concert, not in confrontation. Distinguished guests, fellow leaders, friends of devolution, fellow countrymen and friends, allow me to end my remarks by just off the cuff saying that in summary, the things that will underpin our progress as a nation going forward into the 21st century, in my view, the place of young people, the youth of the nation and the youth of this continent will be critical in underwriting and defining our common future. So as we even partnerships between the public and private sector in terms of raising resources and financing the provision of services and projects is going to be critical. And therefore, the youth, technology, and partnerships will define Kenya's and Africa's 21st century. Secondly, I say this without any fear of contradiction, that of all the innovations of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the most profound innovation and the crown jewel of our current Constitution is devolution. And this is a good opportunity, therefore, to pay tribute to a great son of this county, the late Dr. Crispin Homabay, who laid his life in the fight for a devolved Kenya and a more equitable Kenya. And I have had the moment to witness the remembrance that has been placed by the County Government of Homabay and the Council of Governors at the Bay in honor of a great son of Homabay, Dr. Crispin Homabay. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I am also conscious of the milestones we have achieved in the last so many years under this devolved system. The structures and the relationships among institutions are work in progress, and there are a lot of positive stories around devolution. The latest achievement has been the signing into law of a bill granting financial autonomy to our county assemblies so that they can provide effective, as opposed to vindictive, oversights over the executive at the county level. We hope that the county assemblies will use those resources to perfect their constitutional role of oversight and also of representation and legislation. The threats that face us going into the 21st century, number one is corruption and abuse of resources meant for the provision of public services, and this affects both levels of government, the national government and the county governments. It affects all the arms of government, the executive at both levels, the legislature at both levels of government, and the judiciary, which is not devolved. No one is spared. It affects and it has permitted into private sector, civil society, academia, and into the citizenry of our country. And time has come for us to face head-on the threat of corruption and the danger it poses for the sustainability of our democracy and of our country. We are also facing the risk of sectarianism and subnational interests that are sometimes ethnic-oriented and in many times attempt to undermine and claw back on national unity and the cohesion of our country. We must also be alive to the grave risk posed by violence and extreme behavior that is processed through violent means. And therefore, violent extremism today is not around religious fundamentalism only, but we are witnessing also political intolerance and extremism, where disagreements on national issues, including national problems, are processed through violent behavior. That, in my very humble submission, fellow Kenyans, poses grave danger to the sustainability of Kenya and Africa as we move to the 21st century. Therefore, the triple risks of corruption, sectarianism, especially ethnic sectarianism, and violent extremism, including politics and political issues being processed through violence, those three risks stand on the way to our prosperity as we look into the 21st century. But as I have said, good people, we have the benefits, the advantage, the resources, and the largesse of a huge and educated young population, a hub for technology and innovation in our country, and the growing harmonization of the resources across public and private sector to produce enough resources to deliver services. We have a good constitutional order whose crown jewel is devolution, and increasingly the relationships between all institutions in devolution is work in progress, and there's a lot of success stories for us to learn from. It is therefore a great privilege for me to stand before you, fellow Kenyans and friends, in this land of Homabay County, a land that has produced very many great Kenyans, the late Tom Mboya, a great nationalist who fought for the independence of our country. We recently buried Phoebe Asio, Mama Phoebe Asio, who did a great job towards the empowerment of women and the recognition of equality across gender. But we have present-day heroes. What our sister Gladys Wanga has done is to affirm and confirm that what a man can do, a woman can do better. My sister, you have dignified the leadership of women. Going forward, let there be no doubt about what a woman can do as a leader. We applaud you, and you're a good example to our sisters and our daughters so that we can know that a woman is just as good, if not better, a leader than the rest of us. So thank you very much, Gladys. But we have our great son here of Homabay, John Buddy, the first National Treasury Minister from this region, courtesy of President William Ruto. The first National Treasury or Finance Minister from this part of the world and this part of the country, who in a record 1 year has turned around, demystified the National Treasury, simplified the complexities around public finance in the National Treasury. And with the support of the President and the rest of his colleagues, those of us who sit with him in cabinet, John Buddy is on the way, is on the road, in my estimation, of becoming perhaps one of the best finance ministers Kenya has ever had. Thank you, John. You have our support. I know we have other leaders here. My brother, Moses Kajwang, my high school mono of many years, has also done a good job as a young person. He's now a very experienced senator, and he's come out as a very strong and principled leader, very articulate, issue-driven. He's never petty. I salute you, Senator Moses Kajwang. And I think Homabay has done very well. We have our colleagues in the National Assembly, all of them great people in their own right. But because we are in Homabay town, the contribution of George Opondo Kaluma as a parliamentarian has been quite profound. We salute you, Mheshimiwa Kaluma, and the other colleagues from this region. You've done us proud. I have many things to say about Homabay and the people around here. And, you know, I agree, actually, as Gladys keeps on mentioning, this is the county of endless potential. I have had the privilege to work as a Cabinet Secretary for Interior, and my colleague, P.S. Raymond Omolo, who also comes from this county, did a fantastic job while we served with him, and I think until now, even under the new minister, is delivering for Kenya, a fairly young leader holding one of the most crucial dockets in the government of the Republic of Kenya, again, courtesy of President William Ruto. Good people, I don't want to stand between you and lunch and your journeys home. Let me wish you safe travels and God's blessings. I wish you well in whatever you do. I pray that when you get home, you'll find your family safe, and we will continue interacting even more. Thank you, Homabay County. Thank you, Council of Governors. Thank you, all partners. And thank you, all colleagues who have made this possible. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless Kenya.
Your Excellency, will kindly request you to remain up on stage as we do the launch.
And I am reminded now that the 9th Biennial Devolution Conference is now officially closed. Thank you.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. We'll request you to now proceed to launch the model school feeding policy. You'll be accompanied by the chair and the vice chair of the COG, the whip of the council, the host, governor. Plus, I would also like to welcome up on stage Shalom Diku from Food for Education to come and join here. We are going to do a countdown as His Excellency the Deputy President then launches for us the model school feeding policy. You'll help me count down for him from 10 to 1. Your Excellency, you will just press the button when we get to 1. Shall we count from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, launch. Ladies and gentlemen, Madam CEO of the Council of Governors, please join us on stage. Your Excellency, we will take a photo and the distribution of the booklets. The Deputy President is distributing the booklets, the model school feeding policy, there it is. Next up, as we take this photo, asante sana. We are next going to have gifts. Gifts will be brought up on stage shortly. Thank you very much. And the first gift, Your Excellency, the first gift you are about to receive, Your Excellency, is a gift from the Council of Governors, presented to you by the Chair of the Council. That gift is from the Council of Governors, being presented by the Chair of the Council. The second gift that will come up will be from the host county of Homabay, from the Homa Hills to the Bay Area. Host Governor, Her Excellency Gladys Wanga, is presenting the gift. We'll request Your Excellency only to remain up on stage. Your Excellency, you'll remain up on stage for the national anthem, which will be cued shortly. So, Your Excellency, there will be one final photo at the launch, and you'll be guided to one photo with the guests and the Council of Governors. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending Devolution Conference 2025. It's been successful, fruitful conversations until 2027. Until the next Devolution Conference, wish you all the very best. As the host leadership has said, don't leave. You can tour a lot of Homabay County, and when you go home, go well.
Manyori,